News 4 at 6, working for you.
Our heart shattered with this. This is one of our best deputies.
The Dickson County Sheriff's Office mourning the loss of one of their own tonight, and they won't rest until they find his killer. Here is the man you need to watch for. Stephen Wiggins is on the run right now. These are 3 photos of him with different looks throughout the years. Exclusive new video from Dickson County, a few miles southwest from the initial search scene for Stephen Wiggins. Liz Loheis is there. Liz, what can you tell us?
Well, Tom, it was pretty crazy. We were just over here outside an abandoned yellow house on Plunderston Road off of Highway 48. When police officers left, they sped down the street here, and we're maybe 300 yards away from where we initially were. And we came across a bunch of deputies taking out their guns, drawing them, pointing at the woods, and we saw a woman frantically talking to officers and pointing. You're taking a look at that video right now, pointing and saying, we're not sure exactly what she was saying, but it was almost as though she was indicating she had seen something. So we had stopped over there and we pulled over to take some video, and a deputy told us we had to get out of there. It wasn't safe. So we are working to learn more information if the suspect is down there. We have another crew that's getting a little bit closer to show that video. But again, we thought that the search was over, that there was a false alarm when they had got called to this gas station right across the street from Plunders Creek Road off Highway 48. We thought it was a false alarm, and then we saw all of them speeding down the road with their guns drawn in this wooded area just down the street. So we're going to go closer to the scene and find out exactly what's happening. Tom?
Liz, thanks. Right now, hundreds of officers from all over the state are in Dickson County searching for Wiggins. This all happening near Bear Creek Valley Road in Bon Aqua. That's about 45 minutes west of Nashville. Carly Gordon has been there all day for us. Carly, the longer Wiggins is on the run, the more anxiety and concern in the community.
You're absolutely right, Tom. We are going on hour 10 of this manhunt. You can see officers from all across the state are here trying to find Wiggins. And one of the major concerns is if Wiggins was willing to kill an officer, what else might he do if he gets even more desperate? Dickson County Sergeant Daniel Baker responded to a call of a suspicious car this morning. His fellow officers didn't hear anything back from Baker, so they tracked his car using GPS. Then they found Baker shot dead inside his cruiser. Investigators say video shows Wiggins running away from the murder scene. But it turns out officers in Kingston Springs have been searching for Wiggins since yesterday morning. Wiggins' girlfriend had called police there saying Wiggins slapped her, pulled her hair out, and pointed a gun at her head, threatening to shoot her before stealing her car and taking off. That girlfriend told police Wiggins had been on meth and smoking pot. Investigators say it is imperative they find Wiggins, and soon.
We're not going to rest, and we're not going to leave anything unturned until he's brought in for justice and he's taken into custody, so no one else is at risk or anyone else's life's threatened or taken.
Now, I can tell you that sometime within the next hour, Baker's body will be brought from here back to Nashville to the medical examiner's office. Several officers plan to form a processional to make sure that his body gets there safely. They'll have their blue lights flashing, and we'll be on the lookout for that, Tom.
Carly, thanks. The deputy who was killed, Sergeant Daniel Baker, worked 2 jobs to provide for his family. News 4's Kim St. Ange is live in Dickson County tonight. Kim, where else did he work?
Right here at the Renaissance Center as a security guard. So not only would he protect this building at least one night a week, he also would stand right at these doors greeting hundreds of students who go to college here every single week. So he was very, very busy, a very hard worker, and he has a long history of service. We know he was in the Marine Corps, and before coming to Dickson County, he served at the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office. So he was at the Dickson County Sheriff's Office for 10 years. He had been promoted to sergeant and really moved up the ranks quickly there. Friends say he loved his jobs and would do anything for anyone, whether he was on or off the clock. KAITLIN STAUSS lived next door to Baker, his wife, and their 1-year-old daughter. She says Baker was there for her when she was robbed, and I asked her, what would you want to say to him if he were here to listen to it?
I really do appreciate you being there for me that night. All those times that he had just dropped whatever he was doing, and he was by my side when I needed it.
And And it turns out that Baker actually has a lot of family history that relates to law enforcement right here in the mid-state. Tom?
Indeed. Kim, thanks. The deputy's death hit members of the Spring Hill Police Department extra hard. 2 members of Sergeant Daniel Baker's family serve on the Spring Hill force. We just talked to the chief there.
Their deputy, Daniel Baker, was tragically shot and killed this morning, and his father is our detective, Daryl Baker. We have another officer who is Daniel's half-brother, so it has impact on our department as well as all law enforcement.
Now, Spring Hill's chief says Sergeant Baker wanted to work in law enforcement for a long time. It seems like every few minutes we learn something new. We are digging into Stephen Wiggins' past. We're going to have that in just 2 minutes. We're also keeping an update online and on News 4 app.
Real-time red, Nashville's only live radar.
Thunderstorms are moving right into the Nashville metro area. They're stretched from that Tennessee-Kentucky line all the way down to Alabama. And with this, we're looking at the possibility of some lightning, also some small-size hail, and very strong winds up to 40 to 50 miles an hour. Getting a closer look at some of these areas, you can see the movement to the east. It's coming to you right now in Gallatin. Hendersonville, you're getting the heavy rain over to Madison and also into Hermitage down through Nashville. We've got really heavy downpours right now in Music City, moving right on over towards you in Donaldson, and eventually some of that heavier rain is coming to Berry Hill. Watch this little line right here. That's some very gusty winds that'll be moving through associated with this storm as well. Nothing severe tonight, but we could see severe storms tomorrow. I'll have more on that coming up.
Lisa, thanks. It's the most talked about construction project in Middle Tennessee, redoing I-440. It was expected to take years to finish, but now there's a new proposal to speed things up. News 4 traffic reporter Melanie Layden has brand new details.
The original plan to rebuild I-440 was going to take 3 years, but there's a new plan on the table today that could cut that time frame down to less than 1 year. A game-changer announcement from TDOT today about Nashville's most notorious interstate.
Our customers tell us routinely, get in and get out. What can you do to accelerate the construction?
TDOT is taking bids from contracting companies to replace the existing concrete interstate with asphalt. The newest option would be to segment 440 into 2 parts and close them down for months at a time. The first phase would be I-24 to I-65, closing down that portion for 3 months. The second section of 440 from 65 to I-40 would take a little bit longer, 7 months out of commission. Drivers would be diverted to I-40 downtown and a number of secondary roads as an alternate. TDOT says if the contractors take longer than their allotted time, they'll be fined $400,000 a day. It's not a done deal yet. They want to get feedback from the mayor, the governor, and the public before they make a final decision. No matter which design build TDOT goes with, construction will start this fall.
Melanie Layden reporting there. You can catch her traffic reports every weekday morning on News 4 Today. We're going to go back now to our coverage of the murder of Sergeant Daniel Baker and the search for his killer. Our chief investigative reporter, Jeremy Finley, is here. You found that the man accused of that crime has been prone to violence in the past.
So check it out. This is his rap sheet. It is 10 pages long. You can look at this and see that he has had trouble with police in the past. But it's the court records that truly show what this man is capable of. Just yesterday, Wiggins was charged with slapping his girlfriend, pulling out her hair, and putting a gun to her head. But what happened at the Fairview Inn in July 26, 2016, first indicated his potential for violence. The affidavit reading, Wiggins wielded a knife while holding his girlfriend in the corner. When he refused to put his hands behind his back, he was tased and, quote, pulled the barbs from his chest and continued to charge the officers. Even after he got in the squad car, police say he became combative with officers again. The mugshots for Wiggins keep coming, one after another, convictions for aggravated assault, theft, vandalism, and domestic assault. Now, he pleaded guilty to several charges in connection with the Fairview Inn incident, but never reported for probation. That's why he has the warrants out for his arrest in Williamson County. He also has warrants out in Dixon County for failure to appear on meth and drug possession charges. Tom?
Jeremy, thanks. Take another good look at these pictures, folks. Now, these show Stephen Wiggins with different looks over the years. We believe the most recent one is on the far right. Wiggins has a shaved head and a longer goatee. Police say he is armed and very dangerous, and they want to bring him to justice without anyone else getting hurt.
It is my prayer to God that our court will be a terror to him on the punishment he receives.
People who live in Dickson County are coming to terms with yet another tragedy in their community. News 4's Brianna Arredondo joins us live where law enforcement set up a base there. Brianna, what are residents saying?
Tom, people who have lived in this community for a very long time are calling the deputy's death very heartbreaking, not only for his family, but also for the department. Right now, we are waiting for Sergeant Daniel Baker's body to be escorted coming from this direction and heading toward I-40 to be heading and escorted toward Nashville. Now, it's been an emotional day here in Dickson County for the sheriff and for people out in this community. Some of them ended up waking up to police searching their yards and as well as near their homes looking for the deputy's suspected killer, Stephen Wiggins. We also found a local diner where the deputy's mother is a regular. Workers there told us that they knew something was wrong when she did not come in for breakfast.
In Dixon, especially the regulars that come in, everybody's just like a family here. So everybody knows everybody and just will do whatever they can to help out.
These officers, men and women, come to this profession as a calling to protect and serve, and it's just so unfortunate when one of them loses their lives.
And people who live here say that it's hard to come to terms with not only losing a deputy, but also just a couple of months ago, they were dealing with the brutal death of a 5-year-old boy, Joe Clyde Daniels, in the search that's continuing for his body. People say that they are also feeling unease about knowing the deputy's suspected killer is still on the run and armed and dangerous. Tom?
Brianna, thank you. A lot of you have been asking us about those emergency alerts sent out today. You probably got this message on your phone. This is what the TBI calls a blue alert. It is similar to an amber alert, but is used when an officer is killed in the line of duty. Today is just the second time in the TBI's history they've had to use it. Sergeant Daniel Baker is described as being one of the best. What he told us when we interviewed him years ago after saving a woman's life.
We're tracking storms moving through Nashville tonight, but we have several days in a row where the temperatures will be on the rise and we will see the sun shine. I'll tell you when to plan on that coming up.
You're watching News 4 with Tom Randles, Tracy Cornett, and forewarned Chief Meteorologist Lisa Spencer.
He's one of the guys that puts it on the line every day to keep our community safe, and he was doing that again today with just a call of a suspicious vehicle.
Sergeant Daniel Baker described as being one of the best. We spoke to the man they call a hero 5 years ago. Desiree Wiley is live in our newsroom tonight. Desiree, what was that conversation like with Deputy Baker?
It was a conversation that proves everything that's been said about him today. Dickson County Sheriff Jeff Bledsoe said that Sergeant Baker put everything on the line to make sure the community was safe. In 2013, it was no different when he saved a woman's life.
Generally not a dull moment.
This is Dickson County Sheriff's Deputy Daniel Baker speaking with News 4 5 years ago. He says days on the job in law enforcement are anything but dull.
You don't know if there's weapons in the car, what started the dispute. There's always the possibility of a wreck.
In January of 2013, Baker helped rescue a woman who was trapped inside a truck, flipped and submerged in a creek near Charlotte. 3 people were inside the truck, 2 men and a woman who police say had too much to drink, leading to the accident. Today, while on the job, Deputy Daniel Baker lost his life. He was shot and killed after stopping a man believed to be driving a stolen vehicle.
This is one of our best deputies. He's a supervisor. He's worked his way up to sergeant on patrol. And he's one of the guys that puts it on the line every day to keep our community safe. And he was doing that again today.
Certainly someone we would all call a hero. Most recently, Sergeant Baker took the Renaissance Center shooter into custody in March. Tom?
Desiree, quite a legacy. Thank you. There are still plenty of unanswered questions about Deputy Baker's murder, and the sheriff says the details are stunning.
When you learn what we know, you're going to be shocked.
It has certainly been a rough several weeks for Dickson County. The sheriff's office is still desperately trying to find the body of a 5-year-old boy. They say Joe Clyde Daniels' dad admitted killing his son. His mom was reportedly present when he committed the crime.
Everything we've dealt with, it hurts. It takes a toll on us mentally, physically, with baby Joe still not being recovered.
Despite today's tragedy, the sheriff says a search for baby Joe planned for this Saturday is still on for now.
Real-time Red, Nashville's only live radar.
Rain and thunderstorms moving through Nashville right now as we look here from the Hotel Preston. Traffic is still moving along, but there are some wet roads out there that could be causing some problems. We do have these thunderstorms moving from west to east tonight across the mid-state. Some of the storms that will develop again tomorrow could be severe, so we'll take a look at the timeline on that. But we will be welcoming back some sunshine into our forecast, too, so that is certainly some good news. Right now on Real-Time Red, this is the line of storms, and it's really up and down 65 right now. And a few other storms are there in southern sections of Kentucky. All this is moving towards the east. The general trend is weakening as it moves eastward. But Gallatin to LaGuardo getting some of the rain right now. It'll be headed to your way if you're over in Hartsville. Mount Juliet, you've got heavier rain. It's on the way to Lebanon as well. And then you can see it's passed you by there in Madison, but still the eastern part of Davidson County getting some of the heavier showers at this point. That means tough going right there along 40. So we can take a little closer look at what's happening right through here. It takes us down through Antioch and over to Laverne and Smyrna, where we've got some of the heavier rain there. And that's our radar site right there in Nolensville. So it's raining right on top of the radar. And then we look a little farther down to the south, and we're also seeing more heavy downpours around Eagleville, headed to you if you're in Murfreesboro, Barfield, and also into Christiana. With these storms, we're expecting some pretty gusty winds, could be up to 40 to 50 miles an hour. Some small size hail is possible as well. Lewisburg, Cornersville, and over to Delrose. Primarily for you, we're thinking more heavy downpours that move on fairly quickly as they advance towards the east right now. So looking out there, these are some of the sites that we've been seeing. This is over in Columbia. Thank you to Sharon for sending this in when the heavy rain was coming through. And also looking at some pretty tough clouds out there from this vantage point as well. So temperature-wise, things will cool down when it comes through. The rain, that is. It's 78 right now in Nashville, 73 degrees in Clarksville, 72 in Dixon. But the rain is not to you yet in Lebanon, so it's still 86 degrees right now. A lot warmer there, but changes on the way as all this rain is going to be headed your way. Now, once this gets by us, things will calm down tonight. There's our big system that's moved on to the east, so we dive back down and show you how these storms move past Nashville and do weaken tonight. And then we'll be left with a time of just warm, muggy conditions in some areas of fog. Again, tomorrow morning, a few showers, I think around mid-morning, will start to develop. During the afternoon, a lot of the focusing area is going to be over to the east of 65. And then as we get into tomorrow night, we'll be tracking this line of storms dropping down from the north. Now, with all this in mind, we are under a slight risk zone tomorrow for severe weather from Cookeville, Nashville, back to Clarksville and Paris. And that is that 2 on that 1 to 5 scale. The marginal risk zone is the 1 on the 1 to 5 scale. So we'll be on the lookout for potential of severe storms to develop in these areas tomorrow. Isolated showers or 2 as we get into the evening tonight. All this will start to diminish. And then for tomorrow morning, clouds and humidity. We might see an isolated thunderstorm or 2, but for the most part, it'll be a drier start. And then some spotty storms as we get into the afternoon. 85 degrees is what we'll see. And then right into around 3 o'clock or so, more of those scattered showers and storms. But as you saw there on our Futurecast, a lot of that activity will set up to the east of 65 coming up for tomorrow. And as you can see, we're going to see some more of those thunderstorms even into Friday as well. So we'll keep you updated the closer to the weekend that we get. But in the meantime, we'll drop back and see if we can take a look once again at that 7-day forecast and give you an idea of what we're expecting as we go through time. And not sure where it went for me there. Let's see if I can back up. There we go. Hit the right button and it's going to come up for us. We've got scattered showers and storms Thursday and Friday. A drier day on Saturday near 90 degrees. A few spotty showers in the forecast on Sunday. And then for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, how about that? 3 days in a row where I'm not going to mention rain. So that's good news.
It is indeed. Lisa, thanks. After a year in a big announcement, IKEA is no longer coming to Antioch. Now, many are asking what's next for this site. We're working to get those answers in just 3 minutes. Well, some are calling it a major disappointment. After a year of anticipation, the plans are off the table for that new IKEA in Antioch. News 4's Forrest Sanders checked in with some neighbors who were looking forward to the store's big arrival.
I think people got excited about the possibility of this area of town having some new life.
At first, Wendy Vetter says neighbors were unsure about an IKEA so close to all of this.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a nice, peaceful area.
But she says that concern was short-lived for her family when they thought about all the good IKEA could do here and for her Antioch community.
Revitalizing the Antioch area is a positive thing for everybody involved. New opportunities for employment and for property value to rise. It was encouraging to hear that people were doing things to help it become more like it was 20 years ago.
This morning, Wendy got the news.
We're a little bit shocked, not expecting that at all.
A rep for IKEA says the company is looking to expand to more urban city centers and won't be moving forward with plans to build a store here.
It was disappointing to find out that we weren't going to have a big, beautiful IKEA on the corner.
A rep for Mayor Briley says the Century Farms development around it will continue, and work will be done to guarantee the infrastructure for what the project becomes.
We're curious to see what happens and what goes in IKEA's stead. It could be something still that is really a boon for this area and really helps, but without more information, it's hard to know.
In Antioch, I'm Forrest Sanders, News 4.
Stay with us, folks. We're staying on top of the manhunt for a cop killer tonight. We'll have a live report from Dickson County. That is where hundreds of officers are desperately searching for this man to make sure he doesn't hurt anyone else in their community.